Welcome to Crafty Hints. I'm Chantel. I'm excited to have you here today and to do some fall DIYs. Let's get crafty. All right, DIY 1. I started with this sign from the Dollar Tree, and in these DIYs, we're going to be making them reversible. So I painted the inside of the frame in plaster and the outside edge. Now I'm putting a little bit of painter's tape along that edge, and then I painted this in pool. While that was drying, I took some puzzle pieces and I painted the back side in Waverly's chalk paint in pumpkin. I did try painting the front. They didn't go as well, so I just painted the back, and that was a 48-piece box. I think I would go the next size down with the pieces. I thought that the pieces were the size that they were on the box, but this works fine. So of course we're going to make a pumpkin with them. So I'm taking the inside of this box and just hot gluing them down, trying to kind of make an oval pumpkin sort of shape. So as well as you can with puzzle pieces, right? I just thought this was a fun, different way to make a pumpkin. I know that there's a lot of other fun ideas out there, and I have lots of other wood signs and things like that. But I just thought, let's think outside the box a little bit and go in another direction. So I just continue to stack them on top of each other. And then kind of, looking where there might be gaps. Now, I took these little twig pieces that I gotten at the Dollar Tree a year or so ago. You could also go outside and do this. You could use a popsicle stick. Now, I just took these leaves off of a floral, and I'm just kind of pinching them together, trying to make them a little bit more like a pumpkin leaf. I just thought it gave it, a little more, I don't know, it embellished it a little bit, made it a little happier. I think it's a cute pumpkin. Okay, I found these words at the Dollar Tree and was just trying to figure out which one would be best, and Hello Fall fit it. So I used moss for this to paint it. And it was just a little bit off, so I just stuck another little puzzle piece underneath. Isn't that cute? All right, I had to get to the other side, and as you'll probably be able to tell by my hands and stuff, I did go to other ones as I was going along the way, but when I painted this pool, if you wait till it's kind of tacky, it's almost dry, and kind of drag your brush, it'll give you a little bit of texture, and that's what I did. So then I was going in with this chunky brush with some plaster over the top of it, just trying to bring out that texture, and I don't know, it just reminded me of a winter day. Now I take these little beads and I put them on the back of this metal word that says joy. I have this from last year. They do have the metal words out right now for fall. But by doing that, it pops it out just a little bit, but it also makes it easier to glue because these metal words don't like heat. Now I just took a couple snowflakes and I will glue those in place. So now I'll have fall on one side, and then I can switch it over to some winter joy. I thought this was kind of a fun way to do it. Super simple, but just enough that, it can be on the corner of a shelf or on your entry table. And there we are. And here they are together. Isn't that cute? All right, I am doing these with Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY and Amanda from 6 Kids and a Glue Gun. We're hosts of this. We do a collab every first of the month. This month we decided to go with fall, and again, all of our items will be reversible so that you can use them for more than one season or holiday. So kind of fun. There's a playlist below as well as Amanda and Brenda's channels. All right, this is our DIY 2. I took this, it's a 6-foot board I got at, I think, Home Depot or Menards. And then it's like 1 by 1.5. And I just cut them in staggered pieces. So what you want is 2 pieces the same size and then go down like 1/4 of an inch. Have 2 of those and then 1 in the middle. And then a long piece that measures what all of those blocks are side by side, or you can add a little bit extra. So I'm kind of going to do these colors in a pattern. So I grabbed 2 of the blocks and I'm using the Waverly chalk paint in crimson. I love this paint. I think you saw that from my plaid collab. I just love the coverage, and it's such a beautiful rich color. It's not an orange red, it's more of a bluish red. Love it. Anyways, I won't make you sit and watch me, paint all of these blocks, but kind of give you an idea where you want to be careful because the other side of these blocks are going to be something else. So you need to be careful. There, I was picking which green I was going to go with. And I went with moss. My first one, I don't think that was moss. I have to double check what that was. I apologize. Anyways, all right, here's my long block, and it's going to be the same as my center one. I do think that I probably should have gone with ivory instead of plaster because plaster's right in between white and ivory. So if I were to redo this, I would probably go with ivory. Now on the back side of my crimson, I'm going to go with pumpkin. And on the back side of those green blocks, I did green again. And then I did the plaster around the sides. Now I'm wet distressing this. So as opposed to sandpaper, instead you just take a wet washcloth or paper towel and you just rub along, and it takes off some of the paint and distresses it a little bit. And it does sound like there's a little bit of thunder out there, so I apologize if the microphone picks that up. Okay, so I cut out Merry Christmas on my Cricut. You could definitely use other letter stickers or, write them with a paint pen. Make this your own. You could also use scrapbook paper if you'd rather do that than paint these. They're just a great one that you can personalize with. All right, there they are. See, that white it just doesn't pop off of the plaster as well as I think ivory might have. So just a crafty hint there. Okay, this is the back side, and I'm just laying these down. And I just lined up the bottoms of the letters. Since the blocks are different heights, I had the blocks at the same level, and then I lined up the bottom of the letters. That's what made my eye happy. You'll have to do what makes yours. But here's the Merry Christmas. And you can see I distressed the plaster there too. I think that looks pretty. And then there was the Happy Thanksgiving. So again, you've got both sides there. You could do a bow to set on the top of it, maybe one that's neutral, or do one for each of the holidays. It's up to you, but I think that these will be around for many seasons in my home. Okay, we're going to go to DIY 3. I took these pumpkins from the Dollar Tree, and one side I painted in plaster and one side I painted in pumpkin. And now I'm just taking my plaster on this chunky brush and just making the ribs of the pumpkin. Then I took a little bit of antique wax and just went across the stem. Now I glued the stems, and I do have one pumpkin going the opposite way just so it's a little more appealing to the eye. I took a little piece of a scarf. You could also use felt, but I want to make a little hat here because one side will be a snowman and the other side will be the stacked pumpkins. So I just made it long enough so that I could fold it over so that it looked a little bit more like a stocking cap. Now I'm just going to glue that down. And I was trying to decide what was going to be best around the stem, and I just decided to trim this all down so you couldn't see it from the other side. And then I thought the ribbon could kind of look like leaves from one side, and it could also just look like little ribbons on the top of your hat on the other. So I just folded it back and forth across the pumpkin side. And then I'll trim these kind of rounded so that they look like leaves. Now I'm going to go back in and make some eyes for my snowman. I just used a Sharpie. Then I used a paint marker. You could definitely just use paint or whatever you would like, but I do like paint markers and the control of those. Now I went back in with a smaller Sharpie, and I'm just making a smile. I was trying to decide between dots for the snowman's mouth and a smile. You'll have to let me know what you do with your snowman. Do you like to do the dots, or do you prefer a nice smile? All right, just decided to line that carrot also, and then I'll just make some little grooves on it. I'm also curious to know, how soon do you start decorating for fall? Are you someone that's already starting to work on these DIYs, or are you putting them and tucking away the ideas for when you're ready? Let me know down in the comment box below. Okay, I'm going to take another little piece. I'm going to glue this head back on. It was a little bit loose, so I just popped it off. It was easier to do the snowman's head that way. I took 2 pieces. I'm going to round one end for the rounded part of the scarf. That also makes it so that it doesn't go off the end of the pumpkin on the other side. Now I just folded that other piece around the one piece of felt so that it has like where you would knot a scarf. So try to be thoughtful about how I did this and not make it so that you could see it from the other side. It was more difficult than I expected. But I think the snowman turned out all right, made out of pumpkins. You'll have to let me know what you think, though. He's just about set. I did have to tuck in that little piece of his scarf and glue it so that it didn't hang off. And just a couple buttons that matched the ribbon up at the top. He's so cute smiling at you. Isn't he fun? And I used a stand that I had from another little kit. You could definitely use some tumbling tower blocks and a paint stick, or Anything just to kind of hold it in between and so that you can just turn it around. But here they both are. I do hope that you've given me a thumbs up and are enjoying these. Don't forget to go to the playlist below. There's going to be some amazing crafters that have some great ideas of their own, as well as the other hosts. You want to go to my dear friend Brenda and Amanda's channels. And if you haven't subscribed, oh my goodness, do that quick. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and joining me. I do want to remind you how very special you are, and that I do hope you'll have a blessed day. Here's a couple videos that you might also enjoy.